Welcome to the course Bioprocess Engineering. In the previous class, we have discussed the importance of maintenance coefficient, the methods to estimate maintenance cost, and the kinetics of product formation in various bioprocesses. In the cases of oxygen utilization, the organisms are broadly classified as aerobic, anaerobic, and facultative. Aerobic organisms are those in which oxygen is a final electron acceptor. In these organisms, oxygen is the important and ultimate electron acceptor. The rate of product formation, the growth rate, and the product formation rate is hindered if oxygen is not supplied in optimum concentration. Next, temperature is an important factor that predominantly affects the growth rate of organisms. Any change in temperature beyond the optimum temperature will be affecting the growth rate and product formation. Due to various exo- and endothermic reactions, the temperature inside the reactor might be fluctuating in due course of bioprocess. It is mandated for any bioprocess engineer to continuously monitor and control the temperature inside the reactor in order to maximize yield of the process. Any solution can be consisted of hydrogen atom concentration. The reagents are broadly classified as acidic or alkaline. The microorganisms has the ability to survive only in the optimal pH. It is mandated for any bioprocess engineer to continuously monitor and control the pH of the reaction, as changes in pH will be drastically affecting the growth pattern and product formation kinetics. In today's class, we will be discussing in detail the importance of maintaining optimum oxygen concentration, temperature, and pH in a reactor, and also we will be estimating the rate of increase or decrease in heat of reaction and heat of combustion going to various thermodynamic parameters.
Broadly, in today's class, we are going to analyze the various factors that affect specific growth rate and product formation rate. Shortly, in today's class, we will be discussing the importance of dissolved oxygen in aerobic fermentations and assess the total rate of heat evolution in a batch fermentation, and as a final part, we will be discussing the differences between positive and negative thermodynamic efficiency in a given bioprocess. The first part of today's session will be spent with the importance of dissolved oxygen in aerobic fermentation that aids in maximum yield of biomass and product formation. Oxygen is the most essential requirement for aerobic bioprocess. Cells in aerobic culture take up oxygen from the liquid phase. The rate of oxygen transfer from gas to liquid is therefore of prime importance, especially in dense cultures where the demand for dissolved oxygen is high. The solubility of oxygen in aqueous solutions at ambient temperature and pressure is less than 10 parts per million. This amount of oxygen is quickly consumed in aerobic cultures and must be replaced constantly by spurging. An actively respiring cell population can consume the entire oxygen content of a culture broth within a few seconds. Therefore, the maximum amount of oxygen that can be dissolved in the medium must be transferred from the gas phase 10 to 15 times per minute using sterile filters. A schematic representation of a bioreactor used for cell culture is given. It is a 1.5 liter lab scale fermenter filled with the required medium. We are able to see small bubbles rising from the bottom, which are nothing but the oxygen in the gas phase being transferred into the reactor through the spurger. The oxygen in the bubble gets dissolved into the medium and will be uptaken by the cells for regulating various metabolic activities. The rate at which oxygen is consumed by cells in fermenters determine the rate at which oxygen must be transferred from the gas phase to the liquid phase. Many factors influence oxygen demand. The most important of these are cell species, culture growth phase, and the nature of carbon source provided in the medium. In batch culture, the rate of oxygen uptake varies with time. The reasons for this are twofold. First, the concentration of cells increases during the course of batch culture, and the total rate of oxygen uptake is proportional to the number of cells present. In addition, the rate of oxygen consumption per cell, known as specific oxygen uptake rate, also varies, often reaching a maximum during the early stages of cell growth. The inherent demand of an organism for oxygen depends primarily on the biochemical nature of the cell and its nutritional environment. However, when the cell of dissolved oxygen in the medium falls below a certain point, the specific rate of oxygen uptake is also dependent on oxygen concentration in the liquid. The transfer of gas from a bubble to a liquid medium in which the gas is dispersed in the form of bubbles is given here. There are about 8 steps involved for the gas to reach the cell matrix. The oxygen has to overcome these barriers before it reaches the active site in the cell or in the cell cluster for various biochemical. As the gas passes these barriers, the concentration of the molecules passing the interface gets reduced, wherein there occurs a net decrease in concentration of oxygen as it reaches the cell. In this juncture, it is mandated to know the difference between two specific terms. One is oxygen transfer rate and the next one is oxygen uptake rate. Oxygen transfer rate is the rate in which oxygen is transferred into the medium as it reaches the cell mass, whereas oxygen uptake rate is the rate in which the oxygen is being utilized by the cells to facilitate all biochemical. Oxygen will be spurged into the reactor through spages, and the oxygen transfer from gas bubbles to cells is usually limited by oxygen transfer through the liquid film surrounding the gas bubbles. The rate of oxygen transfer from the gas to liquid phase is directly proportional to difference in concentration between saturated dissolved oxygen and the actual dissolved oxygen concentration, and the proportionality constant is the product of oxygen transfer coefficient and the gas liquid interfacial area, wherein the oxygen transfer rate can be represented as NO2 is equal to KLa into C star minus Cl, which is equal to oxygen transfer rate. The growth rate dependence of aerobic and facultative organisms on dissolved oxygen is given here, wherein oxygen is a growth limiting factor when the dissolved oxygen level is below the critical dissolved oxygen concentration. The dependence of dissolved oxygen for aerobic and facultative organisms on cell growth follows the Monod's growth kinetics. For aerobic organisms, the specific growth rate is directly proportional to dissolved oxygen concentration, which can be represented as Umax into dissolved oxygen concentration plus KDO plus dissolved oxygen concentration, whereas for the facultative organisms, the specific growth rate is equal to maximum specific growth rate plus Umax minus Umax naught into dissolved oxygen by KDO plus dissolved oxygen concentration. The rate of oxygen transfer into the reactor is given as the difference in concentration of the saturated dissolved oxygen and the actual concentration of the oxygen with the proportionality constant of KLa, wherein the rate of oxygen uptake is denoted as OUR as mu O2x, which is equal to mu g x by YfXO2, where mu O2 is the specific rate of oxygen consumption, Yf x of O2 is the yield factor on cells and X is the cell concentration. When oxygen transfer is the rate limiting step, the rate of oxygen consumption is equal to the rate of oxygen transfer. If the maintenance requirement of oxygen is negligible compared to growth, then the oxygen uptake rate is equal to oxygen transfer rate as given. Growth rate varies linearly with the oxygen transfer rate under oxygen transfer limitations. Among the various methods used to overcome dissolved oxygen limitations are the use of oxygen enriched air or pure oxygen and operations under high atmospheric pressures of 2 to 3 atmosphere. Oxygen transfer has a big impact on reactor design. The maximum or saturation oxygen concentration is a function of temperature, oxygen pressure as well as the medium composition. In the second part of the session, we will be discussing in detail the total rate of heat evolution in a batch fermentation. On the basis of thermal endurance, the microorganisms have been broadly classified into five major types. First, psychrophiles has an ability to survive at a lower temperatures up to -5 °C with an upper limit to 22 degrees Celsius. Mesophiles are the microorganisms which has an ability to survive up to 45 degrees Celsius. Thermophiles are those organisms which has an ability to survive at higher temperatures between 60 to 70 degrees Celsius, and extreme thermophiles which has an ability to survive at a higher temperature about 75 degrees Celsius, whereas hyperthermophiles are those organisms which has the ability to survive at higher temperatures above 100 degrees Celsius. Temperature is an important factor affecting the performance of cells. As the temperature is increased towards optimal growth temperature, the growth rate approximately doubles for every 10 degrees Celsius increase in temperature. Above the optimal temperature range, the growth rate decreases and the thermal death may occur. The growth rate decrease is due in part to the enzymes become less active at high temperatures. The endogenous metabolism or the maintenance needs also increase as temperature is increased beyond optimum range, which ultimately leads to a decrease in apparent biomass yield. At high temperatures, the thermal death rate exceeds the growth rate, which causes a net decrease in the concentration of viable cells, which can be expressed as mu net is equal to mu g minus kd, where mu net is the net specific growth rate and mu g is the specific growth rate of the cell and kd is the thermal death rate constant. Thermal death is more sensitive to temperature changes than microbial growth. Temperature also affects product formation. However, the temperature optimum for growth and product formation may be different. The yield factor is also affected by temperature due to the change in the endogenous metabolism requirements. An increase in temperature at high temperatures result in a decrease in yield factor. When temperature is increased above the optimum temperature, the maintenance or endogenous metabolism requirements of the cells will increase. That is, the endogenous metabolism increases with increasing temperature with an activation energy of 60 to 85 kJ per mole, resulting in a decrease in the apparent yield. The temperature also affects the rate limiting step in the fermentation process. At high temperatures, the rate of bioreaction might become higher than the diffusion rate and the diffusion would then become the rate limiting step. The next important parameter to be maintained in the bioprocess is pH. Hydrogen ion concentration or pH affects the activity of enzymes and therefore the microbial growth rate. The optimal pH for growth may be different from that for product formation. Generally, the acceptable pH range varies about the optimum by 1 to pH units. Different organisms have different pH optima and the list is given here. Many organisms have mechanisms to maintain intracellular pH at a relatively constant level in the presence of fluctuations in environmental pH. When pH differs from the optimal value, the maintenance energy requirements increases. One consequence of different pH optima is that the pH of the medium can be used to select one organism over other. Now we have reached the third part of the session. We are going to discuss in detail the differences between positive and negative thermodynamic efficiency. Biochemical reactions do not occur in isolation but are linked in a complex array of metabolic transformations. Catabolic and anabolic reactions take place at the same time so that energy released in one reaction is used in other energy requiring process. Cells use chemical energy quite efficiently, but some are released as heat. As an engineer, we should be having the ability to estimate the heat of reaction associated with cell metabolism and growth. A macroscopic view of cell growth is represented by the stoichiometric equation where A, B, C, D and E are stoichiometric coefficients. This substrate is broken down into ethanol, carbon dioxide and water. Heat of reaction for cell growth can be estimated using stoichiometry and the concept of available electrons. It has been found empirically that the energy content of organic compounds is related to their reduction as delta Hc equal to minus Q gamma Xc, where delta Hc is the molar heat of combustion at standard conditions, Q is the heat evolved per mole of available electrons transferred to oxygen during combustion, and gamma is the degree of reduction of the compound relative to nitrogen, and Xc is the number of carbon atoms in the molecular formula. A direct proportionality between heat of combustion and heat of reduction has important implications for determining the heat of reaction for aerobic cultures, as the degree of reduction of a substance is related directly to the amount of oxygen required for its complete combustion. When compounds are involved in reaction with oxygen, the heat produced by the reaction is directly proportional to the amount of oxygen consumed because molecular oxygen accepts 4 electrons, wherein if 1 mole of oxygen is consumed during respiration, 4 moles of electrons must be transferred, accepting the value of 115 kJ of energy released per gram mole of electrons transferred. The amount of energy released from consumption of 1 gram mole of oxygen is therefore given as 460 kJ per mole of oxygen consumed. If a fermentation uses electron acceptors other than oxygen, a simple relationship of aerobic cultures for determination of heat of reaction cannot be applied. Heat of combustion must be used to estimate the heat of reaction for anaerobic conversions. Ammonia is used as a nitrogen source and heat of combustion of water and carbon dioxide becomes zero, and the equation for standard heat of reaction can be written in terms of standard molar heat of combustion of substrate, ammonia, biomass and the product, where N is number of moles of the compound taken for study. In today's class, we have discussed in detail the thermodynamic efficiency of aerobic and anaerobic reactions and the method adapted to calculate thermodynamic efficiency of the process and to determine the product yield in the given bioprocess. The reference materials for today's content or Bioprocess Engineering by Schuler and Kagi, Principles of Fermentation Technology by Stanbury, and the technical paper published in Frontiers in Microbiology.
Summarize. In today's class, we have discussed in detail the importance of various biochemical parameters that affects the growth pattern and product formation kinetics. Also, we have discussed in detail the heat of reaction and heat of conversion of a given substrate